A returning payoff made better.
And what's the designated mascot of the set? Also, before we get into the episode, we have a giveaway coming up. The details for that giveaway will be at the end of the episode, so stay tuned to find out more information.
Welcome to MTG Unraveled, where we each choose a magic card and over-explain it to distract you from your current hyperfixation. I'm Rafa.
And I'm Ryan. For today's episode, we both picked a card from Secrets of Strixhaven that we are super excited about. This episode comes out just a little bit after the set will actually be released, and these are cards that we are both geared up to put into some decks. So we'll go ahead and start with what your card is today.
It is a 3 black creature demon, and it's rare. And it's a 5/4.
There's a demon in the set?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I picked this card for a very specific reason that I'll get into, obviously. I actually don't plan on running this card necessarily as soon as it comes out, but I like these kinds of cards every time I see something like this.
Ooh. I don't remember seeing a demon from the set. I looked at a lot of the cards, and I don't specifically remember seeing demon as a creature type. Does it have one of the cool mechanics?
No. Oh. Boring.
Okay. I'm not sure what this card is.
That's all right. Let's go with the text box. It's got Menace, and this is going to give it away. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you gain 1 life. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses X life, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn.
Oh, I do remember seeing this card. I don't remember the name of the card. No!
Do you find it weird that I picked this card because I've notoriously said I think life gain's kind of boring?
Yeah, you have. But you also like weird combat shenanigan stuff, so it's really not that surprising.
I like taking game actions that make the game closer to ending.
I think most people do.
Well, I don't know. I'm also a very blue player, which is almost contradicting. But it's probably why I don't like white a lot. Yeah. Anyway, name of this card is Defiling Daemogoth. Daemogoth? There's an A in there. Okay, so one reason I did pick this card is there's a lot of cards similar to this feel already, but I feel like this is the strongest one. So you've got Veto, Enduring Tenacity, and Defiant Bloodlord that all deal damage to an opponent equal to the amount of life you gained, not each opponent. Mm-hmm. That's the big difference. Those ones do it immediately when you gain life, but this one, if it makes it to your end step, will do that to every opponent instead. So no better in 1v1. Actually worse, because you have to wait until your end step. But in Commander, this is the card that life gain has needed for a long time, in my opinion. This will close out games in a life gain deck instead of just pillow forting and gaining a bunch of life.
Yeah, I guess it kind of has the setback that it doesn't set off those endless loops.
Yeah, because it's
like the gain and drain loops, because you have to wait to end step. So
yeah,
no combo.
Those cards still definitely have a place in life gain. I'm not saying that those cards, you shouldn't play those cards too, but this one I think makes it to where you're going to take out the whole table faster than just like those 3 cards without the combo.
It's definitely a commander card.
Yes. Yeah. There's already a card that has this text on it. Did you know that? Vizkopa Guildmage. It costs a white and a black, and it has an ability that costs 1 white and black and says whenever you gain life this turn, each opponent loses that much life. This has already been on a card, but you have to pay 3 mana every time you want this effect to actually happen with that, which is garbage.
But it's also not an end step trigger.
No, but if you're doing a loop, you don't need to do it to everybody all at once. You can just do it one at a time and it'll work.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's not as good in my opinion. Even though it costs 5 mana to first get that going, this one can be recurred from the graveyard and it's immediately ready to go. There's just a ton of reasons. The art was illustrated by Quentin Gleam. It's a slug demon looking thing. It's got 5 arms, which kind of bugged me when I looked that closely at it. I'm like, can you just make it an even number, please? And it's got nasty green mist flowing around it. It looks pretty sweet, and it's quite imaginative.
Yeah,
me.
no, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, just the 5 arms. Don't look at it that closely because it bugs. I don't know why that bugs me so much.
It's that neuro spicy coming out.
Oh, it was really bugging me. I think this card will be about $5 to $10. I couldn't find really a solid pre-order price or a few different options. But I think this card will sit at $5 to $10 based on Veto and Enduring Tenacity and Defiant Bloodlord. That's my guess. Watch it be like $20.
Sometimes I do that.
Yeah, especially right off the bat.
Right off the bat. Yeah, exactly. Looking up prices for these cards, it's so hard to even try to make a guess because there have been many a cards that I'm like, nah, that's not. What? Why is this 20, 30, 40 bucks?
Yeah.
What are you people doing? Calm down.
The Wizard Counterspell, it's mana drain but worse, people. Chill.
Or even the opposite. Like, there have been cards that I'm like, no, this is a really good card. And end up being pretty cheap, which I'm not upset about by any means, but yeah.
So there's just a little bit I wanted to talk about with this. Like I said before, I've never been a big Life Gain fan. I just find it like very Pillow Fort-esque, and Pillow Fort's just not really my style. But I see this card as making the right actions towards Life Gain. So all the cards they've been making that say when you gain life, draw cards, when you gain life, deal damage, this one now does it to the whole table. It's just making life gain actually turn into a win instead of life gain turning into a you not losing as fast.
Oh, whatever. Aetherflux Reservoir has been there for forever.
Aetherflux Reservoir.
Life gain wins, baby.
It's hardly a life gain. Like, yeah, sure it is, but that's one card in your whole deck.
It's a great card.
It is a fantastic card. This one gives you life gain and a payoff for gaining that life for 5 mana, which is what a 5 mana card should do. It should keep your game plan going and pay you for that game plan.
Yeah, it is very well designed.
Yeah. So that's all I wanted. I just like when they dig into niche. I don't like I do, obviously. I still play Ristic Study, Smothering Tithe. I have those in decks, but I like niche, powerful cards. You know, ones that cater to a specific strategy. I really like when they do really well, and I think this card is perfect for life gain.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
That's why I picked it. What do you have for your card today?
All right, I picked a card that also goes into a specific strategy. So my card is 2 or a green hybrid, 2 or a green hybrid. Creature, Avatar. It's a rare, and its power and toughness are 0/0.
It didn't have X in it, right? No.
Not in the cost, no.
But it obviously puts X+1/+1 counters on it for something, but I don't know. I looked at the spoilers and I don't remember this card.
So let's go with the text box. So, Trample and Reach. It has Converge, which is one of the new mechanics that I think is really cool and done really well. This creature enters with a +1/+1 counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. Whenever you cast a creature spell, that creature enters with X additional +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of colors of mana spent to cast it.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It seems like a really good card for 2 mana.
See, I think so, which is why I picked it. So this card is Wild Growth Archaic.
That's a pretty sweet name, too.
Yeah, there's quite a few Archaics in the set there. We'll talk about lore, as I always like to do, and Archaics are a big part of it.
I only think of Wandering Archaic, the best Archaic.
It is a good Archaic.
Okay, anyway, it's an Indominus Rex card. Have Indominus Rex enter with 3 extra +1/+1 counters. A 9/9 instead of a 6/6.
I'm not here to talk about your stupid deck. I immediately saw this card and went, boom, Atraxa. Done deal. Because my Atraxa is a +1/+1 counter deck, and one of the things that I sometimes struggle with is getting those first initial counters onto things. So the mana cost can be paid in a couple different ways. You can play it as a 2-drop for green. It comes in with 1 +1/+1 counter. The really sweet spot, in my opinion, for this card, especially in my Atraxa deck, is a 3-drop, because then you do 3 colors of mana on turn 3. It comes in with 3 +1/+1 counters, but then Atraxa comes down with 4 +1/+1 counters when you cast her.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
And I think that's true for most decks. You know, if you just look at the card in and of itself without its extra ability on it, 1/1 with Trample and Reach for 2 mana really isn't that great. I don't know too much about like the standard meta, and I don't know what goes into picking decks, but I think this could even be a good standard card.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you only have 20 left to begin with, that extra point of damage, even if you just cast this for 1 and then all of, like, with 1 counter for 2 mana, but all of your other creatures come in with at least 1 additional +1/+1 counter on it, like, that can make a huge difference in a game. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it could be really good.
I think it's really good.
And especially in dedicated counters decks, there's plenty more that this could go in besides Atraxa. That's just the one that I have. I mean, I even considered it for, like, Paco. I don't want a whole lot of creatures in there, but Paco immediately coming in with the 2 +1/+1 counters, that could be the difference of him getting bolted.
Well, 3 +1s. You can spend 3 different colors of mana on
I can. Yeah, you're right.
Makes him even harder to get rid of.
I just think this card has a lot of potential. It is not getting the love on the internet that I'm giving it. A lot of people are like, oh, it's clunky, it's blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I mean, I see your points, but...
Honestly, with how, like, low mana value a lot of creatures are today, you know, that we're not playing as many big creature spells anymore. Certainly not casting them. All the little ones, this is like a railway brawler or whatever it's called. That 5 mana creature that puts +1/+1s equal to the power of the creature when it enters. I mean, when you're playing a 2 mana 2/2, this puts 2 +1/+1s on it if it's 2 different colors you spend on it. It's no different than a railway brawler, and that one's 5 mana.
Well, and even I compared it to Arwen, Weaver of Hope or something like that. It's a 1 green, and it says creatures you control enter with a +1/+1 counter equal to Arwen's toughness, and she's a 2/1.
Arwen's better if you have it for 4 turns, 3 or 4 turns, and you increase Arwen's power.
There are 2 different arts. It has the base art. It literally is just this like giant moss and vine covered guy. And then there's a field notes art, which is the one that I want because that is my favorite art style of all time. And I'm so excited that we keep seeing more of it.
Ooh, field notes. No, it is. Yeah, they are pretty.
Yeah.
They're pretty.
The pre-release prices, according to Card Kingdom, are $5 to $8 for the base one or $6 to $10 for the foil.
The thing that's tough with +1/+1 counter cards is there are so many cards to compete with.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice actually because you can basically pick your favorite ones and make a pretty strong deck, and they don't have to be the most expensive cards because of the fact that there are so many +1/+1 counter cards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't have to run something from a Universe Beyond that I don't care for. Yeah. I can just pick something else, and it will do a lot of the same thing.
From Doctor Who.
The pink one from Doctor Who?
Yeah, it's like a 3 or 4 mana creature that draws you cards for +1/+1s that you put on your creatures. Yeah, I told you to run it, and you're just like, eh.
Yeah, see, I don't even know that one. There are many cards that I've been like, that does not feel right being in Atraxa. Now, I do have Universes Beyond in it, but only the ones that I enjoy.
Titus, he just does too much.
Yeah, I have the Awaka.
Oh,
is that the name?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. I have that in there from Final Fantasy because it's drawing cards.
Yep, does everything you want it to do.
Yeah. Okay, so now, because... like I said, I always like to talk about lore. And I was like, what on earth are these Archaics? We've seen them before.
Just wandering around.
What are they? Archaics are a race of wise giant beings with an innate talent for magic. They can live for thousands of years. Many are thought to have been alive since the Dawning Age. A long time. I don't know what the Dawning Age is, but obviously that means like...
sounds like the beginning. Yeah.
Despite their solitude, Archaics carry a vast understanding of magic and the world's history, as well as the ability to warp the fabric of the world around them. Archaics are the reincarnated souls of oracles of Strixhaven. So oracles in Strixhaven are appointed for life by the founding dragons from amongst what's considered the plane's wisest and most powerful archmages, and they're appointed to the ultimate authority in ensuring that magic is used to help others. So when an oracle dies, its soul travels back through time, hence the reason that all Archaics are from the Dawning Age.
So were they always an Archaic then?
That's time wonky stuff that I really don't like to think about.
Yeah, that bugs
But guess
me.
what? Magic's making us think about it. Mages seek out Archaics for their vast knowledge of history and magic, but because their knowledge cuts across the flow of time, Archaics tend to communicate in obscure ways in cryptic words wary of passing on information because they don't want to disrupt the time continuum. I remembered watching the teaser for Strixhaven, and I was like, ooh, what do these Archaics, because they just like fall down and find an Archaic and it's this whole thing.
Yeah, they're being silly with it.
Yeah. And to be honest, I didn't keep up with a lot of the lore from like Aether Drift and Edge of Eternities and all of that. So I also looked some of that up. So basically where we're at right now, this is going to be the briefest overview. You can go and read or listen to the actual story. It's really good. Here's a rundown. Liliana is missing. Jace mind scrambled. I was going to say a different word there. Chandra, and she's pissed off. That happened in Aether Drift.
Okay.
The Archaics are basically going cray-cray and becoming very, like, violent and attacking people, which is not their normal way of being. They usually just keep to themselves. Ajani is a professor at Strixhaven, and Chandra comes to meet up with them, and they start fighting over how to deal with the Archaics. 2 of the students fall into a reality hole because the students all are leaving campus to go out into the wider world to do studies and learn more about things. One of them pops out in an alternate reality where Jace has basically become like Gandalf the White, literally just described as a figure in a white cloak, and says, "It's okay, I'll fix everything."
No, he's from Arcane.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name. I can't remember his name. I'm blanking.
Not Jace.
Yeah.
Victor.
Yeah.
Because there is Jason Arcane, but that's the other one.
Yeah. Not Jason Arcane, but Jason Magic is Victor in Arcane.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
And that's where we're leading with Reality Fractured. So they're about to screw up the entire timeline and mess things up again.
Hey, I just got to say real quick, Teferi must be like sitting on a beach with a lemonade in hand, just being like, all right, Jace, it's your turn, dude. I'm just going to chill.
Yeah, I'm not the only one who gets to screw up the timeline.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit back and watch this time.
Enjoy those white pips you end up having.
Yeah. So that's also part of the reason I picked this card, is just because I thought the Archaic seemed really, really cool. I love the idea of like ancient magic beings that pop up in stories and stuff. And these guys are really, really neat.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I hope one goes toe-to-toe with an Eldrazi when reality gets fractured.
That'd be insane.
It'd be pretty cool.
I know for me, while looking up these cards, I came across quite a few that I was like, oh, should I talk about this one? Should I talk about this one? So I have a couple of honorable mentions. My first one is Flow State. 1 in a blue sorcery, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. If there is an instant or sorcery card in your graveyard, instead put 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. This is going in a couple of decks that I have. It's going to go in my Atris Bracket 4 deck. It's also going to go in Octavia, which is a dedicated instant and sorcery deck.
If the card read 2 mana, scry 1, draw 2 cards, that's really freaking good.
Yeah.
This is better than scry 1, draw 2 cards, though, because you look 3 deep before you choose to draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
Like, this is a very good card. I agree.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the ones that caught my eye right off the bat. And then another thing I'm really excited for, I don't necessarily have one of them in particular that I know I'm going to slot into a deck, but I'm really interested to see how the paradigm mechanic works out.
Those are the first ones I had to talk about. They look so cool.
So in case you are not up to date on it, paradigm says after you cast this card, you exile it, and you may cast a copy of it from exile without paying its mana cost at the beginning of each of your first main phases.
Yeah, honestly, there's an old mechanic like it. I don't remember the name of it, but it stops you from being able to cast any more spells the rest of the game, but you copy the spell that you cast every turn.
Oh, yeah, I do remember. I don't remember the name of that mechanic either, but I remember reading about that.
It's like they took that mechanic and took off the crappy clause that makes it unplayable.
Yeah.
Power creep.
Yeah. So I'm just really excited to see how that works.
Paradigm cards are cool. The Emeritus cards are freaking sweet.
Oh, yeah.
All of them. I want to cast an Ancestral Recall.
Everyone wants to cast an Ancestral Recall.
And a Channel.
Yeah.
How many times have I looked at that card and been like, this thing is freaking busted?
Yeah. No, I think it's really funny that they found a way to sneak cards that are banned
in Commander.
Yep.
Well, in Standard
back into
too.
the game. And in Standard and other formats, but they snuck them back in. Haha. Yep. Yeah.
There's only one other card I wanted to talk about too. It's Rapturous Moment. So it's 6 mana in, is it blue and red? Draw 3, discard 2, and make 5 mana. I think it's 2 blue and 3 red. So for 1 mana, you dig 3 deep, discard 2. That's a Storm card. especially if you're able to cast for reduced costs. Mm-hmm. I think this card is a top end in Storm decks. I think I'm going to try it in my Storm deck. We ready to talk about our giveaway?
Yes.
Would you like to share the details?
We are excited to announce that we are doing a giveaway. It's free to enter, and there are 3 different prizes. We've got 3 separate secret layers. We have the Alien Auras secret layer in the Galaxy foil. We have the My Cabbages rainbow foil secret layer, and then we have the A Lot to Learn rainbow foil secret layer, which this one has really, really beautiful art.
Is that the one with the silence in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so pretty. That silence is so pretty.
So we would like to share that with you guys. Please go ahead and check out the link in the description, enter the giveaway, and see if you can get your chance to get one of those in your hands.
Yep. Just disclaimers, the winners will be chosen on May 12th. It starts today. You must be 18 years or older to enter and live in the US or Canada with valid contact info with entering. This giveaway is not sponsored by YouTube. It's just from us.
Yep. Yeah. Good luck, everybody. For the end of our episode, we like to talk about something that we have been hyper fixated about. So what are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, I just thought we'd talk about how much we are both pet people. I would like to start by saying that I used to not be as much of a pet person. I was when I was a kid. And then I think, teenage boy, I'm just like, I don't want any responsibilities and didn't really care for pets. And that kind of traveled into my early adulthood. But now I'm older and I officially got my first pet, I would say. Like, I've lived with pets for a lot of my life, but I took the initiative to get a pet and I'm very happy I did. He's a cute little floofy boy.
Let me tell you the amount of shock that went through my body when he texted me and said, okay, I'm at somebody's house and I need you to come check out these puppies that they have for sale. And I said, what? Who are you?
Cute.
Oh my gosh. So he's a golden doodle. He's a black golden doodle. And they are just the cutest little mop fluff ball things when
they're babies.
When they're little.
Yeah.
And I think it's crazy because I've never really liked poodles as a breed, but doodles. And so when I went over to see these dogs, the one that we picked immediately came up, wanted to play. He was the biggest boy out of them, just a fat little floof. And he has not changed in that way to today.
No.
And when we were trying to come up with a name for him, I always try to come up with something that's relative to a fandom most of the time. I also have a stipulation that all of our pets have to end in an IE sound, not necessarily IE. And it doesn't have to be their full name. It can just be a nickname. So like one of my cats, my first cat that I have here, her name is Calypso, technically, but we call her Callie. I don't think I've ever called her Calypso, but that's her name. So we had to come up with something that fit this theme, but it also fit him. And so he is Gimli, son of Gloin.
We have never called him that specifically. Just Gimli. That's just what we call him.
Yeah. Just Gimli.
Yeah.
And I think it fits really well because, I don't know, he gives the, like, dwarf vibes.
I didn't know much about doodles, but they're good dogs as a whole. Good family dogs. Goofy, lots of energy, super cuddly when they're not running around.
Very trainable.
Very trainable, yes.
It was very surprising how quickly he learned, like, how to go potty outside and enough rambling about our cute little doodle. I've always loved pets. I've had them since I was a kid. I will always have them. They are a lot of work, so I can understand why some people don't want to put that amount of time, effort, and energy into them if they have other things that they want to focus on in life, but I think they make a really valuable addition to your household. So that is the end of today's episode. You can find us on TikTok at Dicentric Games for other Magic content and nerdy shenanigans.
And if you'd like to share any of the quirks that Magic has hidden in their cards, join the Discord in the description. If you have questions or suggestions for the show, please leave a comment or send us an email.
Yeah, we hope you learned something new today. If there's something about Strixhaven we didn't talk about or something about the cards in particular that you thought was interesting, let us know in the comments below.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your week.
Click all the buttons.
Do all the things.
And we'll see you next time. Bye!